Discussions that have taken place in the Disney fan universe are over such topics like, will they redo the animatronic or will they leave him as an adjusted Hillary? If you remember that story.
Yes.
Will they have him as do a new speech? Will they get rid of the attraction altogether? Redo the land? So we figured this was our chance.
Muppets was another one.
Muppets was another one.
Kevin, that's day one. That's their one.
That's right. So we figured this was our chance to throw in our 2 cents and ask, what do you think Disney should do with the Hall of Presidents? And we not only posed that question to ourselves, but we also posed that question to you, our fans. So make sure you get in touch with us, show@magicarway.com, and let us know your thoughts. So, gentlemen, Hall of Presidents, Liberty Square.
Let me just preface this by saying, so I had a conversation with Kirk about last week's show, and he was telling me about how his first choice for a Villains Land attraction would also have been the Headless Horseman, but he agreed with me that it belonged in Liberty Square.
Lovely.
And how that probably would never happen. And I was, yeah, dude, that's exactly my thoughts. And I kind of caught myself and I'm like, you know, with all the negativity surrounding the election and everything like that, I'm wondering if Disney doesn't just say the hell with it. We're not dealing with any nonsense from any disappointed guests for the next 4 years. And then I could have my Headless Horseman attraction.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
You went right for that.
No, I'm not advocating for that in any way. I think it's silly that we've already got a Frontierland full of IP that has little to nothing to do with the Old West. It would suck if we had a Liberty Square that had absolutely nothing to do with patriotism. But no, I'm just saying if they did, maybe I could get my attraction.
So what you're saying is to survive the encounter with the Headless Horseman, you're going to have like all the presidents, kind of like at the end of the last Star Wars trilogy, that come back and it's like, you have the power. So, you know, and then you can survive that encounter.
So then when
they're like force presidents.
The pumpkin flame changes color.
Yes. Then all the presidents give him like her positive energy, the light. And then you defeat the Headless Horseman.
I like the fact that it has the urban legend with that story for the first part of it.
I think that'd be kind of neat.
I think
3D glass, whatever you want. They could do all the technology now because in that small space, and I bet you it would be pretty popular. I think that attraction as it is now is pretty popular because it's a great respite from the heat.
Oh, it is.
I've gone in there and just sat in the waiting room and never go into the show just because it's like, I need to rest my feet. It's a nice, cool space. They're not kicking me out.
So spacious.
And there's so much space that I can just park it anywhere and be fine. And there's a lot of stuff to look at in that waiting room. So,
Absolutely. There is.
I mean, it's really, really cool to kind of check out, sit on a bench, get up, look around, check out the stuff, and sit back on your bench.
Mm-hmm. It should be an adventurous club type of thing with animatronics. I think that's a whole new level for that.
You know, they could just bring the great moments with Mr. Lincoln over here, and then that way Disneyland could do whatever with their thing and just leave it with us. You know?
I don't know. I like the Adventurers Club with presidents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't you like to just get your piece out to the animatronic president that can't talk back?
You know what? I envision like everybody be clamming around George Washington. It's like, dude, tell us what happened.
What happened?
Tell us some stories, man.
I would want to see his wooden teeth. I'd be like,
yeah. What your insurance plan look like?
Have a cherry.
It should be like Turtle Talk with the president. Like that should be an option. You should like pick the president you want and just ask them crazy questions.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, that would get bad.
It's so tough though. It's a cool attraction for one thing.
Yeah.
It is a reminder of where you're at, and for the theme of what it has, it does have a polarizing effect.
And Morgan Freeman currently narrates it.
Well, that's a voice that helps put you to sleep. I mean, right there.
It is such a peaceful resting spot.
It's the voice of God.
Yeah, but just saying.
Dude, it's funny. It's that you say that's a peaceful resting spot. I always wonder why my dad wanted to go in that attraction. And one day when I was little, I looked over and motherfucker was asleep.
You know, it's like, cool.
But you know what? Years later, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. You just waiting for your guy to get spotlight.
And you know when that happens? When I fall asleep?
Yeah.
During the roll call.
You see, like as a kid, the roll call always kind of fascinated me. Like everything with the video, like I really didn't care about all that. But when they opened it up and I was watching, because audio animatronics were just fascinating to me. And watching how their heads would turn and look at each other and everything like that. And that was really, really, really cool. So I always liked that part of the show. But I could see, it's a little...
It's longer now that I'm older. And so I pass out just for sheer exhaustion. But yeah, no, it's crazy. They're all moving. They're all very alive.
That's how
that attention to detail is something. If this were to go away, I would miss, because it's like maybe like one of the last bastions of that.
Yeah, look, bottom line is that I think people just need to be held to a higher standard.
I agree with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's frustrating that we can't ever really have nice things because of how the dumbest among us might act. And if you don't want to sit through an animatronic show because one of the robots look like somebody you don't like, cool, don't go.
Don't go.
You know, like, I like horror movies, but I'm not into gratuitous gore, so I've never seen any of the Terrifier films. Doesn't mean I want to. It's not like I want it removed. I don't have anything against the people who like those kind of films. I just stay away from them because that's just not my cup of tea.
It's a different type of style.
So it's a pretty simple solution. If you're not into it, don't do it. I mean, Disney can't cater to everyone's severe sensibilities.
I agree with that. I mean, there's enough rides there that if you do not want any sort of part of learning about who came before said person, because I mean, that's the thing about it, in my opinion. Each president represents a certain part of history. That's that thing that keeps it real. But it's an animatronic. It didn't show up and then like pick the future when it was going to overcome with Terminators, not like that. America had way tougher times, so that's still reflected in this attraction.
Ask Lincoln.
Exactly, right? And so, like, for someone else, there's a politician in them. It ain't me.
Same here.
And that's what Disney is about.
Hopefully they do it right.
It's open.
Yeah, to your point, like, I can understand the show isn't going to resonate with most kids or most teens, but must everything be geared towards the thrill seekers? I mean, can't we just have something that's cool and something that's good for you, good for us? I mean, like, kind of like having a salad before your entree or something like that. I mean, just having something substantive that's a little bit different, just as a change of pace, for nothing else. Because to me, if you're going to quit on a theme park attraction that honors the office without depicting any divisive positions, any divisive language whatsoever, that's the equivalent of just throwing your hands up as a country and just saying, it, we hate each other, and that's just not going to ever change.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah,
if this one robot can do that, then, you know, what does that say? Yeah, we're better than that.
It's the whole agree to disagree argument. Nothing gets fixed if you go that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And no, I totally agree with you, Danny, because it's like this is probably one, you know, maybe your one visit to Disney a year, if you're lucky enough to do that, where you're reminded of the people that were in charge of this country. Throughout every single thing that you've ever learned of, everything. These are the representations of the people that were in charge since its birth. And the one that whether you immigrated to or you were born here or whatever else, the country that stands today, these were the people that were leading the charge in those particular times.
Yeah.
And there were some definitely turbulent times that some of these guys went through. Yes, I fall asleep. I know my dad fall asleep. I do appreciate the show in and of itself. I think I hate to lose it.
Same.